Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a very warm welcome to you all to episode 4 of season 3 of the Youth Lounge hosted by DPS Bangalore East. Welcome to our talk show, where ideas meet conversation and every voice has an experience to share, forging a dynamic blend of thoughts and skill. This talk show is on air for viewers all across the globe to see, live on YouTube. And we are your hosts, Avantika.
And Abhineet.
With this, we strive to impart the invaluable wisdom that our alumni present here today will share with us.
On this episode, we welcome our alumni who have achieved great feats by tackling problems head on with their quick thinking and their sheer determination. We hope that this episode helps you to step into their shoes and feel more confident as you navigate through the challenges of adulthood. Now, we would like to begin by introducing our guests.
Our first guest is Mr. Kevin Peter Carvalho. He is a motivated finance professional currently pursuing a Master of Commerce at Macquarie University, Australia, specializing in financial technology and business analytics. He holds a Bachelor of Business Administration in Finance from Christ Academy Institute for Advanced Studies, graduating with first class exemplary results. Professionally, Kevin worked as a certified analyst at Motor Solutions, an Archwell company in the escrow department for Freedom Mortgage Corporation, USA. He, has, he was recognized as a consistent champion award recipient and frequently ranked among the top performers for productivity and quality. Kevin also worked as a finance and insurance associate at Brisk Private Limited, where he earned the National Best Intern Award. During his undergraduate studies, he held leadership roles, including vice chairperson of the student body and student director of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell. He also possesses strong technical skills and experience with tools such as Snowflake, Atlassian Jira, Confluence, and Xero. Beyond academics, he served as a senior under officer in the NC suite. He is also a district and state level football player and actively volunteers with organizations including HelpAge India and Smile Foundation. Mr. Kevin, we welcome you and are deeply grateful for your presence.
Thank you for the warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Our next guest is Mr. Srivatsav, who's a tenacious and highly motivated entrepreneur. He has studied computer science and economics at BITS Pilani. He enjoys working with people and likes to observe how people form structures and relationships in society. He currently advises major business houses on strategies to deploy applications using frontier AI technologies. He has worked with some of the largest AI startups in India, like Servam, Simply Smart, and Deccan AI. He has also deployed voice and reasoning agents at large banks for the Indian government. Upon graduation, Mr. Srivatsav has worked on strategy for an AI model deployment suite, built social media strategies for a climate education NGO in Jharkhand, and helped with market expansion for one of the largest preschools in India. In addition to his academic achievements, he was a part of numerous co-curricular teams in DPS, like the debate team, Mock Stock Exchange team, and the elocution team. He is known to share his thoughts and opinions and participate in discussions related to the environment, politics, and economics. Mr. Srivatsav, a warm welcome to you. We are thankful for your presence.
Thank you so much for that warm intro. Happy to be here as well. Um,
Now, we would like to begin the question hour to gain insights on our alumni's outlook and experience with their jobs and lives. Our first question is for Mr. Kevin. Having studied at DPS East and choosing the science stream in high school, what inspired you to develop an interest in business and eventually shift your academic direction?
Right. Thank you for the question. Um, I began as a normal student, interested in taking or undertaking various things in life. And more importantly, I was trying to figure out who I am and who I will be. I think we would all be able to relate to this that, you know, at such an early stage, our teenage years, we were made to believe that this decision that we take in our 10th grade, it's going to set the rest of our life. How wrong were we? Um, so that's one of the major reasons why I took science was because in India, it is considered as one of the safest options to take because it has one of the largest options also available in case you would like to switch. And therefore, in my 11th and 12th, I undertook the science stream. I did physics, chemistry, math, and geospatial technology. Post completion of my 12th grade was when COVID unfortunately happened. And that derailed many people, some in the positive way and some in the negative. During that time, I thought of continuing pursuing in the same line, but at that time, online education was not such a big thing. Hence, it was difficult to comprehend how an online learning platform would help me, especially in the future, even when it comes to like getting a job. And more importantly, it was not a light expense. It is a very expensive thing to take. And that was one of the major things that contributed towards me changing. And that's when I decided I'm going to pursue business and take up finance. Thankfully, I come from a strong family background where most of us have undertaken business and finance, and I also had a key interest in learning in such domains. And thankfully, I did. This turned out to be a very great decision. I was able to excel in my bachelor's, and later on, I even found an ideal job in this domain.
As someone who has personally had to choose science because they had no idea what to do, I truly understand that this has been a challenging decision to choose a completely different academic path. So thank you for sharing that with us.
And my first question is for Mr. Srivatsal. You have had an education in one of India's most prestigious colleges, BITS Pilani. What preparations have you undertaken to get accepted there, considering the amount of competition for a seat?
Um, so as such, I think I also agree with Kevin's initial remarks around maybe um, you getting into a particular college not determining a lot of outcomes in your life. On that, on the same note, essentially, I did not prepare a lot to get into like a bit sort of a college. Uh, if I could maybe share a bit more about my exact experience, I think in like my first attempt at JEE, which was in January of the year that I was graduating, my score was somewhere around like a 60 or 55 percentile, and COVID had happened somewhere in the middle of that, and I had gotten 3 to 4 months to prepare for let's say whatever JEE or BITSAT and all of these competitive exams. Probably had spent like a lot of time in those 3 to 4 months preparing for competitive exams, but outside that, I don't think I put in like any sort of effort, let's say on a weekly or monthly basis before that, and obviously did not even see a lot of outcomes in competitive exams before that. So I think that very similarly to how let's say there is like a large, I think there's like a large uh, maybe perspective in general in students that it takes a lot of time to prepare for these exams and a lot of effort, but it's probably not that difficult if you put in, let's say, 3 to 4 hours a day for 3 to 4 months. It should be enough for you to probably achieve a very good level in most of these exams. So from a preparation standpoint, I don't think there is a lot to uh, do except put in, let's say, some amount of time for consistently for an extended period of a couple of months. In terms of what exactly to do while preparing and all, I think there is a multiple strategies that could work. Probably find out. I think as whatever works for you. Find out what allows you to learn the most amount of things, or probably learn and do better at tests in the shortest amount of time, and just work from there, is what I would say.
Well, that is very comforting to hear. I guess COVID did take its toll on everyone. Thank you for your response, sir. Our next question is for Mr. Kevin. Upon completing your BBA degree in finance, you began working at an early stage and later on you chose to continue your studies. Can you share your early work experience and what exactly motivated you to switch back to academics?
Sure. During my bachelor's degree, I'm proud to say that I performed very well in academics and co-curricular activities. And I think towards the end of our program, most people we kind of expect to be a placement program, and which was naturally present at our university as well. However, this first program, which was introduced into our university, was a selected placements where only the top performers or people who specialize into a particular domain are selected in it. And thankfully, I was a part of it. In the beginning, I was a little unsure on how I would do because at the end of the day, it is an international company. It's an international bank as well. So I don't know. I think I believed I had a strong belief that I would do well. So I went ahead and applied for it. And a couple of weeks later, I believe I got the call back where we were called to the main office and where we had to conduct 4 to 5 rounds of different interviews and other tests. And thankfully, I was able to get in such a wonderful organization. I began as a normal analyst into the industry, and within a couple of months, I was able to move into specializing into U.S. escrow, which is your U.S. taxes and insurance. And later on, I moved into bankruptcy and credit reporting as well, which was an absolutely fantastic experience overall. I realized that while I was working, there was a lot of changes that were happening in the industry as well as in the organization as a whole. Due to the integration of AI into everything, I slowly started realizing that there needs to be a change in my personal life in order for me to sustain in this organization as well as in this domain. This was one of the major factors that made me decide that I need to head back into learning, get equipped with all the necessary tools to be successful in this particular domain of finance as well as banking, and then post completion to return back into the same domain and excel once again.
That was inspiring to hear, sir. Again, switching back from work life to academics must have been a thoughtful decision.
The next question is for Mr. Srivatsa. You've attained a dual degree in computer science and economics, along with studying artificial intelligence. What inspired you to do so? How did you manage to study all 3 subjects?
In terms of probably what inspired me to do so is very simple. I had like a really good economics teacher in school called Priya ma'am. I'm not sure if she's here on this call right now. But yeah, I think probably inspiration was simpler in terms of managing, let's say, doing multiple things at the same time. I think probably I was like that since school only. If there were people, I think if Vijayalakshmi ma'am is here, she could also talk about how I went to like a bunch of competitions and also managed academics in school. So I think learning to be on schedule, managing your time, all of those simpler things definitely apply in terms of trying to do multiple things at once. I think having the opportunity to study, let's say, 3 different domains in college while also doing, let's say, an internship in Bangalore was really, really enriching because that way you also get to decide what you really want to be or where do you want to double down on or what really interests you as a career and things like that. Essentially, having studied 3 broadly different sorts of domains, I got opportunities to work with people in those domains as well. And that probably helped me decide what kind of a career I wanted to do as well. So yeah, at least from a time management perspective, it was slightly difficult to figure out, but again, not impossible, but definitely enriching in terms of maybe helping me understand what kind of a career I want to have, or how do I combine the things that I like to do and build maybe a career out of that.
And it really shows how having the correct exposure can impact your life so much. I mean, combining tech and economics, having a dual degree must have felt like such a power move. Thank you. This next question is for Mr. Kevin. You're pursuing your master's in commerce at Macquarie University in Australia. How has this international experience shaped your opportunities and approach to learning? And what advice would you give to aspiring students hoping to study abroad?
Right. So I moved to Australia in July 2025, and it has been an absolute fantastic experience being here so far. And I'm excited for what the future holds. Um, Being an international student in any country is not easy because you're not only competing with the fellow students who are coming from various countries all over the world, but you're also competing with the citizens of that country who are naturally more prioritized. So I would say that it's important for you to set yourself apart and to be ready to take up any sort of work that is presented to you. I think in India, it's a little it's not very forward looking when you work into some sort of tradie work, which is carpentry or being an electrician or working at a petrol station. But I think opportunities here, similar opportunities here, are very proudly looked upon because all work is valued here equally. And that's very good to hear, especially for students who come internationally. And saying that there are plenty of opportunities that are available, um, and as long as you can say yes to that particular thing and don't have any sort of restraints towards taking it, I think it provides a lot of value for you personally as well as for the country. Now, to answer your question, when it came to approach to learning, um, it is very different to what it is in India because over here, it's not as structured, because in India, you can hop into school, your timetable is set, your subjects are set, you just have to be there in class at the right time, and you just have to finish the whole day and you're pretty much done. However, here, you get to choose the classes that you want to attend and when you want to attend it, which means that you don't have to go to university every single day. You can just probably finish it from Monday to Tuesday for the whole day, probably. And then you're free for the rest of the week, which means you can take up any sort of thing which is in your line of interest. Some of them, or many of my friends as well, have taken up work. Some of them have taken up internships already. Some of them have undertaken various sports and other musical related activities which are available here in Australia, which is fantastic. And I think that is one of the major differences in learning out here.
That advice was very eye opening. Indeed, your advice will work as a winning combo for all the aspirants.
Mhm.
My next question is for Mr. Srivatsa. Sir, you're an entrepreneur, a profession I'm sure many students are interested in, but tend to stray away from due to the risk factor. Could you describe your journey of being an entrepreneur?
Got it. Essentially, in terms of how I ended up being in this sort of a situation was because I also had like a lot of time to explore in college because my college was also liberal. I could also uh move around classes in my schedule as much as I wanted to, be not attend like not have an attendance policy in college, and see only have to I only had to go back to college to give tests or go to college essentially to give tests or write exams. Uh, because of that, throughout my third and fourth year, I was pretty much traveling from Pilani, Rajasthan to Bangalore, Karnataka. I would say I was traveling once a month from Bangalore to Pilani so that I could work in Bangalore for 20-25 days and then go back to college to give tests for like 5 days. So consistently over like a 2-3 year period of time, I had the opportunity to work with multiple startups and sort of experiment with multiple roles that I could take up there. I think that 2 years of experimentation definitely allowed me a lot of time and space to double down on being a person who probably does entrepreneurship for a startup. Uh, Apart from that, in terms of how I see maybe risk or the entire idea of risk tolerance while working at a startup, I think it really depends on the kind of opportunity cost or you are taking up or the kind of options you have in life apart from that. Essentially, I would think that I have mostly a comfortable life only, and probably if I am going to do something else apart from, like, let's say, building a startup, it would probably be either doing another like either trying to move to another country or trying to move up like some sort of a corporate ladder or whatever. So I think both of those cases are maybe very comfortable and like a very linear sort of a path. I don't see any opportunity cost or loss of me working in a startup and let's say not gaining anything extremely huge over, let's say, the next over a longer period of time. So I don't think that for a lot of us who come from a good background, that risk sort of a structure really applies, because if you are already living in Bangalore and are, let's say, very close to the startup ecosystem in India as a whole, it's not very risky for you to try and fail, at least in the early stages of your career. Maybe if I was much older and I had to take care, I had like maybe responsibilities and all, I would really start thinking about the risk. But for maybe most of us who are already living like a comfortable life, it's not such a big problem.
Well, the traveling part sure sounds like a hassle, but learning to take risks at an early age to fulfill one dream can give you time for experimenting with new scopes. Thank you, sir. Your reply was truly valuable. Now, my final question for Mr. Kevin. Sir, as a student of DPS East, you served as a senior under officer in the NCC, were a member of the student council, and represented the school at sports events. How would you say that DPS East and the roles you took up during high school helped you in your life?
Sure. I would say that DPS has played an instrumental role in who I am today. I think you can all check this up for yourselves, but I think the first investiture ceremony at DPS was around 2009 or 2010. And I think the video is still up on YouTube, where both my elder brother and myself are featured in it. So those of you who are interested, you are free to check it out. DPS has, tied up with so many important institutions that are committed to providing excellence to students. The academically inclined have opportunities to do the SOF exams, for science-related topics. I think during my time for English, it was ESOL, ESOL, and now I'm pretty sure there must be many more for other subjects. Additionally, I also think the inclusion of international language also played a very important role for students to have that exposure to a different language and to, in some ways, gain some sort of cultures, to gain or bring out some sort of cultures from that language. Additionally, I would also say that, tie-ups with, like the modern classroom for international exposure, NCC for military training, Model United Nations for intellectual debates, Imbroglio Productions. They were the ones who helped us organize the first ever musical. I think these partnerships also made a very significant impact to most of the students who have utilized these facilities at our school. Additionally, DPS is also like committed to showing a lot of support to the underprivileged, and students have the opportunities to contribute to these organizations accordingly. And now these were all during my time, so I'm pretty sure right now there would be far more, opportunities for all of you to get yourself into. For me, NCC was certainly provided some of the most proudest moments of my life. I joined NCC back in 5th or 8th grade-ish, and I started as a normal, ordinary cadet and came up through the ranks. I remember attending multiple camps, and something which I'm really thankful to the DPS community as well as the teaching, admin, and faculty staff is that the amount of support that they showed us, because going for camps and returning back after a couple of weeks or couple of months is not easy. And many of the teachers used to personally sit with us as students, they used to sit with us and they used to help us in our learning journey, which is very, very much appreciated. And through this, I moved up the ranks, held a lot of senior leadership positions, and I'm also a proud C certificate holder, which I had to do post completion of my schooling. This was during my bachelor's time. And I would always recommend some sort of military training for all sort of students, as it brings in the values of discipline and responsibility. Now, I believe that all the roles that I undertook during my days in school, right from being a sports captain to the house captain to being prefects and various other roles, um, this, these have all positively shaped me. When you take on roles in school, you begin to understand that leadership is not just about these titles or that badge that you wear on your chest, but it's about the service that you give. It means showing up when others depend on you, making decisions even when they are difficult, and learning to balance different sort of responsibilities.
Thank you, sir. I completely agree. Co-curricular really does help in shaping one life, and our school gives great opportunities to hone such skills. Thank you for sharing that.
We will now move on to the last question of the talk show, and our last question to Mr. Srivatsa. Mr. Srivatsa, you have done a major in two very different subjects. You've become an entrepreneur, feats an individual wouldn't do unless driven by passion. What advice would you give DPS students on following their passions?
Um, I would probably divide it into two parts. Firstly, why follow your passion? I think it makes sense to do that because your passion really reflects on is probably a realistic uh, uh, sense of what you can achieve or what you want to achieve based on where you are or based on what has happened to you throughout your life. And secondly, I don't know, I think it's just you would have a happier life and maybe be more happy with uh, what you are as a person if you follow your passion. So yeah, pretty much that's it.
I think you're very simply put why people should follow their passion and go after their dreams. So thank you for that. That brings us to the end of our question session. We would now like to lighten the mood a little with a short and engaging segment. We've prepared a small game for both our guests with just a few fun questions, and we hope this activity will add a touch of excitement to this episode and that our guests enjoy it just as much as our viewers will.
Welcome to the Maths Youth Lounge Game Zone. We've got logic puzzles, campus throwbacks, and a round of Guess Who. So let's jump right in. To kick things off, let's begin with the round of Guess the Spot. Can you identify which block this is?
No.
I think this is that's the new block right near the ground, the Theta block or something. I remember
Yes, indeed,
being
sir.
there I remember being there when I had visited for the sports day. I think a couple of years ago. I remember
Yes,
seeing it.
you're absolutely right, sir. It is Theta block.
Okay, so this is a new area in our school. Can you identify it?
Oh, this was not there during my time for sure.
Yeah, like this is unfair because Kevin has probably visited multiple times after graduating and I have not. So he knows probably.
I unfortunately cannot recognize this place.
Would you like a hint?
Sure.
Yeah, so this area is actually adjacent to our Delta block.
Just into Delta block. Okay. Wow. I have not been here for sure. Wow.
Okay, so the correct answer is it's the topiary of our school and it's adjacent to the cricket ground.
Ah, okay.
But thanks for trying. Can we move on to the next slide, please?
Okay, next up we have a round of Brainiac Battle. Yes. Which number logically completes the sequence? 2, 3, 4, 9, and 17.
It's 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 8.
33.
Yes, sir, that is the correct answer.
33.
You're absolutely right.
Oh,
The answer is B, 33.
What is the next figure in the sequence?
that should be B. right? Because of
Correct.
the
That's the
square.
right answer. Can we move to the next slide, please?
Have a round of guess who. Yes, show you a picture of a personality or something related to it, and you'll have to guess who it's related to. So, who is this famous man?
Is it
Aryabhatta.
Aryabhatta?
Aryabhatta. Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely right. The answer is Aryabhatta, credited with the discovery of the figure digit zero.
Can you identify this famous mathematician in the picture?
The human calculator.
Yes, so close.
Shakuntala Devi. Yeah, there we go.
Correct.
Shakuntala
That's the
Devi.
right answer. This is Shakuntala Devi.
Next up, we don't have a mathematician, but nonetheless a famous
Oh.
personality. She is the
Rihanna.
CEO
Rihanna,
of Fenty Cosmetics. Sorry?
Yeah, that's Rihanna, isn't it?
Yes, that is the correct answer. Rihanna.
Okay, so this is a very common one, but who does this jersey belong to?
Messi.
Correct.
Yep.
That's absolutely right. It belongs to Lionel Messi.
Next up, we're upping the difficulty a little bit. Which badminton player do these eyes belong to?
Yes. Um,
Would you like a hint?
Yeah, sure.
sure.
So a very famous film has been made on her name, and she has won. She has won in the Olympics and Indian Olympics badminton.
I'm just going to go with Sania Nehwal. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is the correct answer.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this might be a little difficult, but there are two actors that have been merged here, the faces. Can you guess which two?
Oh. I think one looks like what's his name? Siddharth. I don't know the last name against Siddharth because from the jawline it looks like very similar, but the other one, yeah, I wish I knew.
No
Okay,
idea.
so you were so close. One of the actors is Siddharth Malhotra, and the other is Akshay Kumar.
Oh,
Okay, and with that we conclude the game zone of Youth Lounge. Thanks a lot for playing along. As our show concludes, thank you to our esteemed guests, Mr. Kevin and Mr. Srivatsav, for enlightening us today, and for your time and patience. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the management, our principal, Dr. Manila Carvalho, and Vice Principal, Ms. Preeti Sutta, for providing us with this platform. We would like to thank the organizing committee, Head of the Department of Mathematics, Ms. Sirisha Kapoor, Head of the Department of English, Ms. Sonali Roy, and Ms. Sioni Dixit from the English Department, and Ms. Nandita Gupta from the Broadcast Brigades for their guidance. This program would not have been a success without the support of the Head of the Department of Computer Science, Ms. Vikranti Astikar, and a technical support, Ms. Pooja Ahuja, and Ms. Juliet. And last but not least, thanks to all of our viewers. You have been a wonderful audience. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you,
We would
folks.
like to ask